From SwissWatchExpo, spotlight on the Rolex Submariner's many nicknames. How many do you know? Considered the most iconic dive watch, the Rolex Submariner has only been gently revised over the years, staying true to the timeless design launched in 1954. While keeping its design DNA, the Submariner has also evolved into many different versions. Along with those different identities came a whole slew of nicknames. Not official Rolex terminology, but still widely used by Rolex fans. Here's a guide on every Rolex Submariner nickname. Subscribe to our channel to get updates on new videos. The James Bond. You'll find James Bond wearing an Omega Seamaster these days, but the very first timepiece he wore was a Rolex Submariner. In the inaugural James Bond film Dr. No, Sean Connery wore a Rolex Submariner 6538, forever cementing the Submariner as the original watch of 007. This reference is characterized by an oversized winding crown and a case without crown guards. While later-era Submariners were also worn in Bond films, the 6538 has the distinction of being called the James Bond Submariner. The Milsub. The Rolex Milsub, a compound of the words military and submariner, refers to watches that were produced for the British Ministry of Defense. Beginning in 1957, Rolex produced 4 different references that were modified to meet the requirements of the British Armed Forces. Milsubs feature sword-shaped hands, fully demarcated bezel inserts, bars between the lugs, and dials with circle T markings to denote the use of tritium. The Bart Simpson. Rolex Bart Simpson Submariners refer to reference 5512 and 5513 models that were produced for a very short window of time in the 1960s. At the time, Submariners still had gilt dials with gold-colored lettering. The nickname comes from the shape and the color of the coronet, whose shorter points and golden color bear a resemblance to the hair of the Simpsons character. The Red Submariner. The Rolex Red Submariner is one of the most easily recognizable vintage versions of the Sub. This version of the reference 1680 features the Submariner name written in red on its dial, the only time that Rolex ever printed the name in red letters. The 1680 was produced from 1969 to 1979. But the red text appeared only during the first 6 years. It looks fantastic with the tropical dial, which makes it even more sought after. The Kermit. In 2003, Rolex celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Submariner in a bold way. For the first time ever, they introduced a bright green aluminum bezel to the stainless steel reference, and also equipped it with a maxi dial with more pronounced markers and hands. The new look was polarizing at first, but it has since become one of the most popular Submariner models to collect. The nickname Kermit came from the famous green Muppet character from Sesame Street. It was discontinued in 2010 to make way for the new green Submariner, the Rolex Hulk. The Hulk. In 2010, Rolex introduced a new green Submariner to replace the Kermit. This time it came with a green ceramic bezel, a matching sunburst dial, and an updated case with thicker lugs and crown guards. With its beefier look, it quickly earned the name The Hulk among Rolex fans. Just like the Marvel superhero, it's a larger, bolder, and all-green version of the Submariner. The Cermit, or the Starbucks. Fast forward to 2020. Rolex released a new generation of Rolex Submariners. For the first time ever, the Submariner now has a 41mm case, and also marked the return of the green bezel, black dial colorway first seen on the Kermit. The new version comes with a Cerachrome ceramic bezel and a darker green color. This model is sometimes called the Cermit, due to more or less being the ceramic version of the Kermit, or the Starbucks, due to its resemblance to the coffee company's logo. The Sultan. Gem setting is a serious business in Rolex, and even its sports watches are set with precious gems, including diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. Sport models with gems are collectively known as Certi dials, from the French word certissage, which means gem setting. The Certi Submariner is also sometimes called the Sultan. Embellished with diamonds and sapphires on the dial, it is indeed fit for royalty. The Bluesy. While nicknames like James Bond, Kermit, or Hulk refer to a particular Rolex Submariner reference, the name Bluesy applies to all steel and gold Submariners with a blue dial and bezel. There are currently 4 references that are called by this nickname, and it applies to both aluminum and ceramic bezel versions. The Smurf. In 2008, as part of the brand's 100th year celebration, Rolex introduced a completely new Rolex Submariner, the first to come in solid 18-karat white gold. Its unique gray gold finish was paired with an all-blue Cerachrome bezel and lacquered blue dial, earning it the nickname the Smurf after the cartoon character. As silly as the nickname may be, the Smurf is one of the most expensive modern references of the Submariner due to its rare all-white gold finish. This model was discontinued in 2020 and replaced by a 41mm version. The Cookie Monster. In 2020, Rolex introduced a 41mm version of the all-white gold Submariner, this time with a blue bezel and black dial pairing. Aside from the new dial color, it also has a more slender case, as with all of the new generation Submariners. This model has received a number of different nicknames, but Cookie Monster has proved to be the most popular. These alternative monikers certainly add to the enjoyment of Rolex collecting. Explore our collection of Rolex watches at SwissWatchExpo.com. Want to learn more about Rolex watches? Click on the upper right screen for our Rolex playlist. Don't miss out, we launch 2 videos weekly on the best and the latest in watches. To get updates, subscribe to our YouTube channel.